part of my while I setting up, you could write, you know, the date. What? So like this is the intro, as to you know.
Of the video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the date again?
Today is the 14th.
14.
I'm gonna give in Holland some.
14/11.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 2020 frickin' 5. Director, that would be me, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do MW. Producer, we're goddamn cameraman. Okay, sound. Well, we have it all. Let's do scene 1, take 1, roll 1.
Well, this
everybody.
is actually take 2.
Oh, this is take 2. Yes.
No, lava.
Oh, no. Let's do. Because if I remember correctly, you wanted to like start a YouTube channel with interviews and filmmakers and just.
So,
is it a starting thing, or do you already have it? Or?
Well, I've done some interviews already with I did an interview with an artist.
Okay.
But my focus has shifted a bit. So now I'm focusing more on bringing some awareness to the creative industry in its totality.
So it's not just film.
It's not just film.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get some more like ears to how maybe kids from where I come from would want to go into the creative field, or we can develop a creative, agency,
Yeah. Clear.
So let's get.
And also, how do you? Because I see you mic yourself. Do I have to incorporate your question in the answer, or can I just answer?
You could just
because
answer.
Your question can be heard clearly.
It's a very chill environment. Meaning the voices are the audio is separate, so it's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do anything with. I have to incorporate your question in my
No.
answer. Blah blah blah.
No.
I can just. All right.
So let's get.
That's nicer. That's more relaxing.
Yeah. Let's kick it
Cool.
off.
Yes.
So Mark, where are you from? Where do you grow up?
Well, it depends on how specific you want to get with where I'm from. I am from Holland, of course, the Netherlands. Don't know why there are two names for the country. But also up north, I'm Frisian, Friesland, Friesland. And even more specific, Leeuwarden. That's the main town in Friesland. Very Calvinistic, very northern. No film industry, at least not when I grew up. But yeah, that's where I'm from. One sister, 2 parents.
Yeah. And how was it like growing up there? Like, is it like a small village, or is it like?
Growing up there was, oh my God, it's become a big town, student town for quite a few years. But when I grew up there, it was still, even though it's a big town, and it was back then, but it had a very small village mentality, maybe. Like a lot of neighbors knew each other, looked after each other. I don't know if they did, but I always felt like it happened, gossiped about each other. I come from the kind of community where you don't want to stand out. It's also a very Dutch thing. It's sort of very Calvinistic. It's sort of like, I never had the need to dress up weirdly, but I come from a place where you couldn't, even if you wanted to. And I found that as a creative person, very restrictive. I didn't like that. You felt walls, narrow walls, as what you could do, what you could dream about, how you could be and express yourself, and it was very, very controlled. That's sort of where I'm from. It was a nice childhood, as I remember it, but it did have that, very Dutch, Calvinistic,
It's really funny because where I'm from, I think that someone would give you the same recollection. Like, it's a very small place, and doing something out of the ordinary, it's very, big, and it's like.
But was it also for you that it was looked down upon and kind of
Yes.
like made jokes about, oh, you have dreams, oh, you silly you best not have dreams?
Well, it's even to the point where I feel like people don't even openly speak about their. I had a friend one time, she was going to school, and she said she doesn't even share her creative dreams with anyone because it's like,
because they will only hurt her because maybe not in a mean way, but there's just this tendency to not take it seriously. I recognize that a lot. Like people, like even my best friends, and again, not in a mean way, but still, it's like they kind of laughed at me for having dreams of one day making my own films and being a director and, you know, doing those things. And it's sort of like, why?
You know? And
don't crush people's dreams. We need dreams, damn it. Anyone that is lucky enough to find the dream in their life, let's support that, because that's the juice of life. That's the gravy. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and it's almost as if, you know, now you have to be put in the same box as you were saying now, because now you have to convince your parents, your peers. But how did that culture and upbringing help or modified your creative process to become?
I was always, certainly to a nice degree, supported by my parents. My father was, of course, okay, go after your film dream, but also like study a real job, that cliche, classic. I get it now being a parent myself. It's like, okay, follow your dream, but you know, best to have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
But what I think, and I learned it along the way. I didn't develop it in my teenage years, but like I talk to students about this a lot. What it did help me with, and it has been a struggle throughout my life to find it, to truly connect with it, is a drive. I think daring to go and chase the thing that you want is incredibly important. It doesn't mean that you're egotistical. Some people may do it in an egotistical way. But if you truly want something, you desire something, you want to get somewhere, achieve something, make a dream come true, I am a dreamer, but I've learned to become a doer, because just by dreaming, it won't happen. The world is made by people who do. And you are what you do, not what you say. That's also a classic screenplay line. A character is what they do, not what they say. So, like, it also gave me a little bit of fire, as in, I will show you all. I will prove, I will go, I will chase it. Even if I don't make it, who knows? There are a lot of factors that need to happen, you know, and what is success and what's the measure of success that you're hoping to get. But I'm going to go for it.
Yes, for sure.
And I think that's it's something that I find, coming from that background, that it gave me. It's sort of like I didn't let that defeat me and tear me down. It gave me a little fire of like, I'll show you. I'll show you.
Oh.
And I talk to students about this a lot. Like, I don't know how you find that, but if you can, it's really good. Because it's good to chase something. It's good to go for something.
And now this is a good time for us to pivot.
Yeah.
What did you prove to them? What's your accolades? What's your...
Well, I don't know if I proved anything, because like I'm now so old that I do it out of joy. I don't genuinely do it out of a need to prove myself anymore. But I've made multiple feature films. First, it started with the step of finally being accepted into the Dutch Film School and moving from all the way up north to Amsterdam, big city Amsterdam, and living there and following the film study. Then working in advertisement for quite a bit, and TV, because you know, in feature films you just don't make a lot of money. And then, you know, just following my passion. And that has led me to working and ultimately also owning a video store in Amsterdam for quite a few years. Still my favorite job I've ever had, in a way. And also making now my fifth feature film is finished. And uploading it for festivals and seeing if, you know, how people respond to it. But yeah, having made now 5 feature films and continuing to do this. And in the meantime, I'm here, I don't know if you can tell, but we're in the school that I've been teaching everything in regards to film and TV for 12 years now. So I also get to share and talk about the passion of my life, which is of course my wife and my family, as I should automatically also say, but it's above that even, I would say. It's film. I've been in love with film my entire life, ever since I really saw Back to the Future when I was 12. Blew me away. I watched it 3 times back to back, and even the 3rd time it took me out of this world and sucked me into that adventure of Marty McFly. And I loved that experience so much that like I've been connected to that and cinema and storytelling through film as a medium and yet I've been obsessed with it, and I love it so yeah, for so many reasons. And that's what I've been following and doing, really.
Mooi. You spoke somewhat about your early stages in the film industry,
Yeah.
early TV. Describe that a bit, because I don't think a lot of people see that as, they see TV, but they don't see that as a job. They don't see the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, the most difficult thing also that I talk to many students about, which, a lot of things weren't told to me that I now do try to tell to students, but this one was, it's like a school will constantly tell you what to do. Once you graduate, no one will. Again, so you better chase it. The main thing is like, okay, so once you're done and you have your diploma, now it's up to you. You go look for jobs. You go talk to people. You go chase whatever you want. You apply to jobs. You meet people, and that was a big switch. But I have found, and that's still true to today, also in my classes and making films and the way that I make them, is that I have a card to play. And in that, I'm not lying, but it's something that I can use. Mm-hmm. I know that there's a fire, a light that lights up in me when I get to talk about movies. And I have noticed that people find that, what would the word be, inspiring or enjoyable? So that's a thing that I can do. And that's what I use to get my first jobs. But I also have to say that I did that for a few years, but I found that my love is the long feature film and the stories and everything connected to that. So I made a conscious decision of stopping TV and advertisement because I only have this amount of creativity in me. And if I spend it on those things, I have none left for what I truly care about. So I made a specific decision to say I'm going to do a day job that's first in the video store and now it's teaching. And I will have all the fun talking about movies there, but that creativity, this amount that I have every day, I will spend on those projects. Those big projects take about 3 to 5 years sometimes to get finished, from starting to finished. And that's the perfect balance in my life, really. So I said goodbye to all the short stuff.
And then when you were in advertisement, was it like, okay, you guys have a project for this month, so this is what we're gonna do, and what was your role?
For most things that I was involved with, the director. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I also was involved in the editing and coming up with ideas. The thing that I'm mainly not known for, because it's been a long while, but the thing that I did that got a lot of press at the time, like I did a few commercials for a Dutch political party, and one of them was something that's very faux pas, like not done in Dutch politics. It's a political ad where you see the politicians in their home life with their kids, and the kids were shown as a means to get people to like the politician. And that was done in I still remember in a very American, well-made, but like there was all kinds of moral questions connected with it. But I came up with most of the ideas. I directed it and also did the editing. So it's very much involved in those aspects.
Okay, mooi. Let's go back a bit. How did your family and your community influence your creativity or just your upbringing in general? Some of the movies you made, how do they reflect in your upbringing? You can speak specifically about the Christian movie.
Yeah, that's really a complicated question because, like, of course, it's nurture nature, like to what degree the complexity, because when I see people, I see individuals only. It's also why I despise tribalism, because I think it's very dangerous, and groupthink, also because it denies the uniqueness of every individual. And you're incredibly complicated as a unique individual, as am I. And what made me the person that I am today is very much biology, but also incidents that happened to me. It's my upbringing. It's the religious background that, although I wasn't brought up religious in any way, the Calvinistic, very Dutch, specifically in the northern part, is still ingrained into cultural and the soberness of like the Dutch mentality. And I have that also in me. So it's hard to really pinpoint to specific things that have happened in my life. I will say though, I've always been, also the way I remember myself as a kid, quite sensitive for whatever reason, to even being phobic in certain aspects. And I think most creative people that I know have that in common too. I've always seen myself, because I know my own heart quite well, and again, the reasons are incredibly complicated, which I don't even can fully state, but I've always been a bit of a broken person, in a way. I don't want to sound overly dramatic, but it is kind of true in certain ways. And I think that's also something that most creative people will have, because it gives you a drive, and it gives you something that I want to show myself, I want to prove myself, I want to capture something of myself in whatever creative means you have. But I can't really point to like a specific incident or elements, because it's too big, too complicated, really.
How about your education in film? I know you briefly spoke about you went to the Amsterdam film school. How was that?
Yes, I did.
And what was the time period also?
I went to the Dutch Film Academy in 1991, because I graduated 2003. At first, because I tried 4 times before the bastards finally accepted me. The 2 years before that, I went to study in Hilversum at the HKU, which is more of a television, broader school. Then I decided, let me try again, because I've been rejected 3 times, and I had made some good stuff there, in my opinion, some good fiction stuff. So I thought, let me use that, and then if they say yes, just out of spite, I will say, well, the hell with you, I'm not going now, the hell with you. And I uploaded it, and I went there, and I was very relaxed, because I was like, F you attitude, and that only, for whatever reason, made them want me, or think that, I would be fitting, so they accepted me. And then, oh, shit, now I get the choice. Oh. So I thought, well, if I do really want to get into film school, the official Dutch film school, is still the best school to go to. If not for the education, then just for the name and the opportunity that it gives you still for your final exam film to be broadcast on Dutch TV and to be shown at the Dutch Film Festival and so on. Then I made the decision to go there.
Were there any mentors or teachers that really inspired you to put you in a path?
Yes, but unfortunately, and I hope that's not the crib, because I'm sure it's way better now in film school now, but film school when I was there was pretty bad, education-wise. We didn't have a directorial teacher that certainly at the beginning was any good, then he went away, then at least for 1 year or 2 or longer, I don't quite remember, we had no directorial teacher to guide us specifically. I did have a good time there, but education-wise, it wasn't good. The teachers that were amazing, that still inspire me today now teaching myself, were the teachers that I had in the HKU before that. There were 3 teachers, Jan, Paul, and Ben. All 3, specifically Paul, but Ben and Jan as well. They fused me with their love of film, and they were relaxed teachers that did have expectations, but they were mostly inspiring. And I dedicated one of the films to them without them knowing it, just put their first name in. But
what are your recollection of challenges in your early stages of the film industry like?
Oh, that's easy. My biggest challenge is to make a movie, and to be a director, by the way. You have to have, and I don't know if ego is the right word, but you have to have enough self-worth for yourself to be heard, to stand and to guide other people in your vision, and also because I write my own stuff, have my own story be, that I at least consider it important enough to be shared, to be made, for other people to see it. And as a very fairly insecure person when I was young anyway, that took me quite a while. Like when I graduated at first, I had like a lot of struggles with, but am I worthy enough? Do I really feel that I have something to say? Am I important enough? Is my voice important enough to be heard? And I think that was the biggest challenge. It's not a technical one, it's just an internal, do I genuinely feel like I have something worthy to share? Because I like my entertainment movies, but I always want to directly or indirectly have a layer that for me, a story has to be about something more than just entertainment. Entertainment or making a compelling story is first, but underneath, for me, there has to be something that I connect to, that I believe in on a deeper level. Even in my horror movie or a kid's adventure movie that I made, I need it to be about more. And when you deal with those things, am I important enough? Do I really, can I straighten my back and say, yes, it's up to you if you want to listen to me, but I have something to say. And I'll say it. And you don't have to agree with me, but at least I'll say it.
Yeah. And even in your teaching, career, how does that, is that, would you say that is also a part of you, filmmaking, giving birth to new filmmakers? How does that translate into your level of accomplishment?
It's my biggest accomplishment, I feel. Also, looking back now, I didn't realize it at the time. But the thing, to go back to the teachers that I loved so much, they a few years ago, they retired. And there was an email sent out to all older students, like, would you mind writing a little piece on a Facebook page, private for them, but that they could read. And I thought about this a bit, and I had already been teaching for a few years myself. And I came to the thought, it was a very profound insight for me, that part of, I want to make movies for many reasons, but one of the reasons why is I want to matter, I want to share. For me, life is not a lonely, that's a negative word, but a solitary experience. I'm very aware of a solitary experience of life. And for me, therefore, it's vital to connect to other people, to bridge it. And art, for me, is that. That's the language of connection beyond words, where I express something in a painting or a movie, and you can connect to it emotionally on a deeper level than I can even express in simple words in a discussion. And to be seen, be heard, and to be remembered and matter in the lives of other people, I have found that's sort of probably the main reason why I want to be in film. I want to matter. I want to communicate. I want people to remember me fondly or think of me. Not like that I'm under the illusion, oh my God, Mark, but just as I wrote in the thing that I wrote for them as a thank you, it's that I realized that, and I have that for all those three, that I don't think about those three wonderful gentlemen that inspired me so much every day, not even every week. But every time a teacher, the word teacher comes up, my mind may drift, and once or twice every year, like now, they will come up, and I will remember them. And if I remember them, I have a little smile, because I go, yeah, I remember. And they were a force for good. They were a force for positive. And for me, teaching allows me, and I damn near do anything I can. And I think, if I'm being honest, I succeed, I think, rather well. I think I do that. And that's my hope. I don't expect it to be huge and influential, but just when I'm long gone and you or other people are like 80, and then your grandkids talk about, oh, what type of teachers did you have? Maybe you don't immediately jump to me, but I am one of those. And when you do think of me, you smile. And for me, that's everything. That's also what I want to make movies for. And the thing is that I found with movies, still love movies, but I know I am not there with you when you watch my movie. So there is still a distance. But you are here when we are here together in this auditorium here, and I get to share the love of cinema, and we can have a dialogue. Of course, it's also a monologue for me, but we connect, and I can entertain you or make you see something, and you can respond, and we can have a moment. And for me, even if Spielberg calls, hey, do you want to direct the next Jurassic Park? Okay, great, but I'd still want to return and continue teaching. I don't ever want to lose this, because this, for me, strikes at like probably the most important thing, or important, for me anyway. Not important, but like this is, this gives me a sense of purpose in life.
I think this is an important time to let everyone watching know that Mark is my my previous film teacher. I did my film minor. He's the beginning of my film career.
Yeah.
So give us some stories about, well, not stories, but I know that school and going to stuff like film minor. You're going to the film minor now.
Yeah.
How does that enriching your passion for film? Because it's like you're watching students make movies.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to sound like I'm only giving, it's to mean something in the lives of others. Like I'm also, like every person, a selfish person. It also brings me very much, because when I teach film to others, I'm also repeating, because film is such a complicated thing. It's not like math. Math probably also complicated, but math has simple answers of like, in most cases, the way I know math, 1 + 1 = 2. Film is way more complicated and layered, and there are no easy answers of actually, it must be done this way. Yes, there are tips, there are tricks, there are sort of rules, but not like, oh my God, we die by these rules. So teaching it to them is also reminding myself again of all those things. So it makes me, when I work on a film, in my opinion, a better director, because I'm also constantly reminding myself of the tricks and the tools and and so on. But I also have to say, is I find the whole student mentality, because the reason why that first school, the HKU, was, in my opinion, a better experience also than the Film Academy. I love down and dirty filmmaking. I love, you have to have a good idea, but then let's jump in the moment. Let's all do it together. Let's not do like, oh, you're the director, you're the cinematography. And I've been on sets as an assistant director where all the departments were literally almost at war with each other, of like battling, of usually it's budget related. But like, I love that idea. We're making it together. And yes, you're primarily the director of photography. I'm, of course, the director, but it's more, and that's the way students work. And I love that. Because like, I don't like huge crews and the whole, making a big unwieldy machine, but the down and dirty, like you can make an awesome film with a small group. It just starts with a good idea and motivated people and talented people, and you just dive in and you just, and that inspires me every day.
Let's talk about one of the film that I know you for.
Yeah.
The Christian film. That's the name. I'm pronouncing it correctly. Right?
It's Kristen.
Kristen, yeah.
And it's the name of the main character. And
yes.
like I said, it's a horror movie. It's a girl, not young one, but a youngish woman trapped in a bar of her dad, that she goes there with her boyfriend to clean after a New Year's party. It's still dark outside. Her boyfriend is out there trying to park the car because there are no parking spaces, but he doesn't come. And she thinks, what the hell's going on? And in the meantime, she's called by an unknown person who she slowly finds out is outside the bar observing her, and he knows things about her that no one could know. What the hell is going on? Yeah. And it turns into a really surreal nightmare. But as you already said, Kristen, there is a whole religious subtext going on, because like I already said, for me, when I make movies, they also have to, even if you don't notice it and you just think it's about a girl trapped in a bar. No, it's actually, in my opinion, about existentialism. It's about nihilism, I would say even. And it's dramatizing like real things that I know or experience or have thoughts about.
Give us some. What's your experience in making Kristen? Like, what was the budget? How did you get the actors? How did you How did it? Where did it happen? And
Yeah, well, I just make movies with no budget
okay, perfect.
because I've tried it a few times, but it ends up being, you know, hugely disappointing with producers who just drop the ball or don't do what I want, or like it takes forever, or you really want to make something and then for whatever reason that is not even clearly explained to it, you don't get the funding. And I can't do that. If I get struck by the passion of I want to make that kind of film, I cannot. It's like being pregnant but not allowed to give birth. That's not an not an option for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know, not giving birth while you're pregnant is not an option for me. I found out very quickly. So I make low budget movies that I finance myself from, you know, having made a little money from my previous film and that I invest in the next one. I seem to be able to get really good people to want to work with me, even though I can't pay them. I write short and simple things that, even though they are features, it doesn't mean I need 4 months of your time, because that's insane. I write things that can be shot in anywhere between 10 and 15 days max. And you can do a lot if you write it cleverly and you have some experience and you're well prepared. So that's sort of how I go about doing it. I also did that like the first time with Kristen, made for 7,000 euros that I paid for the video from the video store that I still was able to sell. So with that money, I financed the film and made with people that I knew, because like from having been a director or director's assistant and old classmates of mine, I got a small crew together. We made the film, and still to this day, you know, all the other films that I've made thus far also have been, I don't know if successful is the right word, but they've been, you know, they made their money back and they're on different platforms to be seen. And but Kristen did the best. Like it won several film festivals, was awarded and played at many festivals, was released on DVD in the final stages of DVD when DVD still was a thing. Remember going to MediaMarkt and having heard, oh, I think the movie should be released on DVD. No, it's probably not, but let's peek inside. And I went to MediaMarkt and I saw a whole stack of my movie on DVD, which is like, oh my God, that's amazing. I love that so much.
Well, that's
and
what
again,
it was about.
yeah, and
That's what it's all about.
especially considering we shot it with a crew of like 5 people, and it was 7,000 euros, and ultimately that's where it ended up after many platforms, and it's still Amazon Prime. Sometimes I still get like a notification of Chinese reviews that I have to translate of people who apparently saw it in China. But it played for 2 years at the end of its whole run on Disney Plus. Yeah. And that sort of inspired me to say, okay, if I write in a clever, low-budget way, and if I find the right people, I can make movies this way that are full movies, that are not like, they're nice attempts, but... so that's sort of what I'm doing now.
And you were the writer, obviously.
I'm always the writer. Sometimes I write with someone, the last 2 projects. Or the last project and the one that I'm now currently, I want to do a new horror movie again. I'm working with someone, but I'm always either writing it myself or very involved. I certainly direct, I sometimes produce, and I quite often also edit. So I'm one big movie-making machine. Still need other people, of course.
How do you avoid creative burnout during all of this?
I don't know. I think the creative, for me, it's also the advantage, because there are many disadvantages of doing it my low budget way, but there are multiple advantages. One is there's no time limit. So I can work on it whenever I want to. There is no fund or network saying the movie has to be done here, we're financing it, and it better be done in 3 months. Also, like my last film, the post-production, I spent a year editing the film. But I can say that it turned out so much better because I had that time to edit and truly find, for every moment in the movie, the perfect moment where I feel this is the best that it can be. Every frame, everything. Than the first version that I had after 2 months. And imagine, in most people's cases that work for movies with a whole huge budget, they will have, because they have to pay for that editor and that edit suite. And okay, you have 2 months. That makes so much difference. My edit now at the end of a year is oh my God, can't even hold a candle to my edit after 2 months.
What kind of stories gravitates you to? I know it seems as though your genre is horror.
No, I have a particular love for horror because I love expressionists style. Also, it's my favorite painting period, the expressionists. And horror, for me, gives a filmmaker the most opportunity, because the thing with horror is you need more than a good script and good actors. You also need to do something with the camera and framing and timing and music and sound. And like, a horror isn't good if you just have a good script and good actors. You also have to really do things with the frame and outside of the frame and in the frame and anticipation and suspense and work with all those things. So I also sometimes feel that only people who don't know the difficulty or anything about the film craft can say, oh yeah, horror is less of a genre. I actually think it's up there with the king of the genres because it's the most difficult thing to do, in my opinion. Same with comedy, in a way. That's why so many horror movies are bad, because they're damn difficult to do well. But anyway, I have a particular love for horror, but I mostly love genre. I like art house movies, but the ones that I've always loved most is genre movies with an art house or personal touch underneath them. I love all kinds of movies, but the ones that I love the most out of my childhood is a movie like RoboCop. RoboCop is in its top layer, it's a sci-fi action movie, but then it's also filled with political messages. It's a critique of capitalism. It's and on an even deeper level, it's about identity. What makes you you? If I cut off your arm, are you less you? And if you say, no, I'm still me, but then where are you if I cut off your head separate from your body and both would still live? Which one of those two is you? Are you your body? Or are you your brain? What part of your brain? Are you your memory? So it, even in a playful way, deals with all those memories. There's a whole Jesus and Catholic metaphor, the resurrection, the crucifixion going on there. And it's clearly made by a director whose work I know, who's in the movie. Even though it's about a cyborg, I know Paul Verhoeven as a director and his themes and his style and elements. And it's also like a Van Gogh painting. I see him in the work. Like show me a painting, certainly of his later period, and I know, even if I don't know the painting, that's Van Gogh. Most likely, same thing with this. That's Verhoeven, right? Yeah, that must be.
He's Dutch, right?
Sorry?
He's Dutch?
Yeah, he's Dutch.
I have a picture
he's Dutch.
I have a picture in my phone.
My favorite. No, I didn't wear my Verhoeven
I have a picture
shirt.
in my phone with him. He was at my restaurant. We took a picture together.
Damn.
Yeah.
I've met him once, long time ago, and oh my God, I don't have the guts to do it, but like my biggest wish, probably professionally, is just like talking with him for an evening. Yeah, I have. He's my favorite commentary guy. Like I've listened to many DVD commentaries, and like his passion for storytelling and movies and history, I just love that. I listen to him for hours. It's just amazing.
He used to come to my restaurant writing every week.
I have a thing like I don't. If you're famous or well known, that doesn't mean a lot to me. But if what you have created means a lot to me, I wouldn't know what to say. I would be like, I'm so Star Trek. So even if I would meet him, I would that would be embarrassing. And I also wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to be like fanboy of like, oh my God. So but it's still, because not all of his movies are my favorites, but I love his passion, his expressionist style, his layeredness, like his energy that he had as a director, but also when he talks about things.
What's the future for Mark? What's the future? I know you just said that you're working on?
Yeah, well, but honestly, I don't want to sound boring, but like I'm kind of hoping that the way I'm living now, I can continue for as long as I can. Like I said, I really love teaching and what that gives me and what I feel that I can give students and talking about movies and sharing movies. We just saw Singing in the Rain and a whole bunch of other movies to analyze. We saw La Haine, we saw The Shawshank Redemption, we saw a whole bunch of films that, many students had never seen before. And I always do a vote at the end of like, hey, just your personal opinion. What did you think? Would you give it a 6, a 7, an 8? Just you. And every opinion is right. It's just like what I saw in the video store. And to have people see a great example. For the dialogue lesson, I showed the classic 12 Angry Men. Mm-hmm. And there were people here actually saying to me, I never imagined that I would love a black and white movie this old so much. Mm. This movie is up there with my favorites now. And it's like, that's so amazing. Mm. I love that. So I really want to continue this. I love this, certainly this last project that I just finished with some bumps here and there, but was an amazing experience, just fun to make. So I hope I can continue making projects the same way. That way I can still dream and work creatively. My family, everything going well, everybody healthy. So knock on wood, I hope that still remains. And that's all I need. Taking care of myself. Like I've been going to the gym for the last year. It's the thing that I'm going to do after when we're done with this. So, yeah, like I'm not full of dreams anymore. Of course, I would love to make the smash big hit and be discovered and adored by all. But, the older I get, I would just be just as fine if that doesn't happen. And I feel enough satisfaction from the people I interact with, the things that I make, the people that I care about. I honestly can say I feel like I've arrived at a good place.
Do you have any regrets with your...
See, that's an interesting question, because my life is full of things that I don't know if I would call them regrets, things that I wish hadn't have happened, things that happened to me, to people that I cared about, things that, like everybody, like life is complicated, but my life I've had my fill. But the thing though is that I had this thought a few years ago, as in, would I change anything? No, because those things made this possible. Like my life would be different if certain things in my past hadn't have happened. And because I genuinely feel like being a dad first and foremost, but also again this job and the projects that I'm working on and where I'm at now, I have this because of those things that didn't work out or bad things that have happened, whatever. So those things were needed to get me here. So therefore, I honestly can say I'm happy everything happened in a way because it led me to here. So and also life is too short to have regrets.
Yeah.
If
you had to, this is not even on script, but if you had to convince someone as to why they should, not someone, but what's your perspective on why film and art is important, like on a sociological standpoint? Like why does the Netherlands invest in film? Why did you find the need to make film? And what would be your perspective on that?
Yeah, it sort of connects a little bit to what I said before, and what I always start the first screenplay class with is trying to put that in words. And it's subjective, it's my take, but I do feel maybe the most strongly about this. I only think what I think and feel what I feel. Same thing is the case with you. You can never think what I think, you can never feel what I feel. In that way, as Spock said in an old episode where he got taken by an alien and they experienced what it was like to be human, I think most people sort of sense that makes life solitary. Again, not lonely, I don't want to say it in a but it's only your experience. But I think the solution to that, and it's the thing I think that pretty much all of us need and want and desire and is good and is healthy, is sharing. Let me honestly share what it's like being me. I will not pretend, and this is the main thing, that my perspective has to be your perspective, because it's only more interesting if it's different. But at least let's see if we can understand each other. Because one of the things that I also believe in, it's two things actually. One, we're all of us, but both of us, but everyone in the world, unique individuals, but we're also 99.9% made up of the same DNA. Chances are that if I explain it in detail, the details will be different, but both of us operate the same way, hope the same things, fear the same things, desire the same things, doubt about the same things, and sharing is, I think, the most important things for human beings to do. And a lot we do this way, just verbally, talking. I believe in talking, sharing, having a beer or having a Coke. I don't drink alcohol or whatever. And for me, the importance of art in any form or expression, because art may be like, oh, a lofty art. Expression. I said this when I won an award at one point, where the whole room was filled with creatives who did all sorts of things because there were so many categories. It's like, it's already quite a thing to live. But to live and do something where you reach out through something you make, you express yourself, you share something, know that that's vital. And even if you have one follower or a billion, you're Mr. Beast or you're Mr. Nobody, keep doing it, because it's the most important thing for yourself and other people. This world will only get better, if we truly want it to be better, if we share and we share more. It's the only way to bridge all the conflict and the prejudices and the racism and the sexism and the thing and the judgments and the whatever. It's sharing. Because we are all unique, every individual, but we're also all the same.
Well, I'm going to ask you one more question.
Yes.
What would you say is your biggest...
That sounded like a final good wrap-up.
No, we'll sign out on this one. What would you say is your, not on film, but in your life, your biggest lesson that you've learned?
My biggest lesson that I've learned. I think, and I don't know when I learned this, because I think it's probably from my parents who taught me this, but I never assume that my experience of life is your experience of life. I will never, and that's also the way I approach my classes. I don't try to convince you that I'm right. I'm trying to share how I see things. That's literally what I think, also the way I want to make films, the way I hopefully try to be when I talk to people. It's like I desperately want to tell you how I see things, but never from a perspective that I am right, that my version is the truth. It's just, let's find each other, and I want you to understand where I'm coming from. But never assume that therefore, because I experience it this way, that it must be that way for you, or you should see it this way. Whether it's politically, personally, whatever, it's sort of like, I give everybody the complete freedom to be who they are. And that idea, I think, is probably the most important one, both in life and just as in dealing with other people.
Mark, thank you so much.
Pleasure to do this.
All right.